นอกจากนี้ยังมีวิสัยทัศน์ในการที่จะส่งเสริมสนับสนุนพัฒนาและสร้างแรงบันดาลใจให้แก่บุคลากรแห่งมหาวิทยาลัยมหาจุฬาลงกรณราชวิทยาลัยทั้งคณาจารย์เจ้าหน้าที่นิสิตนักศึกษาทั้งส่วนกลางและส่วนภูมิภาคทั้งชาวไทยและชาวต่างประเทศให้มีทักษะด้านภาษาเพื่อการเรียนรู้เผยแผ่พระพุทธศาสนาสอนวิปัสสนากรรมฐานและศึกษาพระไตรปิฎกให้มีความชำนาญและมีประสิทธิภาพมากยิ่งขึ้น
สถาบันภาษาเราทำงานกันเป็นทีมเรามุ่งเน้นบริการด้านภาษาอย่างมีคุณภาพเพื่อให้ผู้ใช้บริการได้ฝึกทักษะด้านภาษาอย่างเต็มที่กับเจ้าของภาษาตัวจริงเต็มที่กับหลักสูตรภาษานานาชาติให้ท่านเลือกเรียนนี่ฮาวこんにちは
こんにちは
อันยองฮาเซโย
อันยองฮาเซโย
ซินเจ้าและบริการสังคมต่างๆและยังมีหลักสูตรต่างๆอีกมากมายโครงการบริการวิชาการโครงการพัฒนาศักยภาพด้านภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคณาจารย์โครงการอบรมหลักสูตรการสอนพระพุทธศาสนาภาคภาษาอังกฤษโครงการภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับเจ้าหน้าที่สำนักงานออนไลน์คอร์สโครงการพัฒนาศักยภาพภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับนักเรียนโครงการพัฒนาศักยภาพด้านภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับนิสิตและยังมีหลักสูตรต่างๆที่บูรณาการภาษาอังกฤษกับพระพุทธศาสนาอีกด้วยนะครับโครงการภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับการอ่านพระไตรปิฎกโครงการภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับวิปัสสนาจารย์โครงการภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับโหราศาสตร์หลักสูตรพัฒนาศักยภาพด้านภาษาอังกฤษหลักสูตรตามข้อบังคับและยังเป็นสถานที่จัดสอบวัดผล MCU เรายังมีห้องสมุดวิสปาร์คให้ท่านได้หาข้อมูลเพิ่มเติมไม่ว่าจะเป็นตำราต่างประเทศอินเทอร์เน็ตสำหรับหาข้อมูลหรือปรึกษาเรื่องเรียนเรียนรู้ต่อเนื่องกับคลินิกภาษามีปัญหาด้านภาษาก็ปรึกษาอาจารย์ได้เลยสวัสดีครับอาจารย์เรายังมีการเรียนรู้ในรูปแบบดิจิตอลให้ท่านเลือกเรียนได้ทุกที่กับหลักสูตรออนไลน์มาร่วมเปลี่ยนชีวิตไปกับเราภาษาเปลี่ยนชีวิตคุณได้
So we have just finished the video presentation of the Language Institute of MCU to all the participants. So I think we will be waiting a few more minutes to for more participants, let's say, because as I mentioned earlier that we have a large amount of participants who will be attending this course for today, and both the director of Language Institute and also our special lecturer for today, Associate Professor Dr. Thiravit Pinyonathakar is already here in this Zoom conference room. So, however, before we start, once again, for those who are already here, I would like to share about the program for today. Just right. So as you can see, we will be having the opening ceremony first, right? Maybe in a few minutes we'll start our ceremony, and we will start to our learning and teaching. Okay, for please do not write on the screen. Okay, I hope someone missed. Someone write something on the screen. So yeah, please do not write on the screen yet. And we already have almost 40 participants now, right? So we will be still waiting. So as I mentioned you earlier, that this program was initiated by our Venerable Director of Language Institute, Venerable Prajaan Associate Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasarasak Pachantaseno, who let's say initiated, who started the idea to provide this course to the foreign students. But however, due to when we were having the registration session, the application, some students who were not foreign students, were let's say Thai students from MCU, and also some general people from outside who wanted to attend this course. So however, we did allow them to attend as well. So even though we haven't changed the program yet, according to this program, which is English course, reading and writing skills for foreign students of MCU, but due to their not only foreign students, let's say, we also have Thai students and some general people, we should say, like international students, right? So, and we have a very knowledgeable and very intellectual lecturer, let's say, who will be sharing his knowledge, his valuable knowledge to all of us. I hope that some students in MC also knows him well, because he's also, let's say, a special lecturer, a part-time lecturer at the Faculty of Humanities, teaching to MA and PhD students of English program and linguistics, if I'm not wrong. So yeah. And okay, we are slowly started to see some students here. Now I will stop sharing my screen and invite our director to start the program. So without further ado, may I please call upon Prajaan Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasarasak Pachantaseno, the Director of Language Institute, to take this moment and lead us to pay homage to the Triple Gem and deliver the opening remarks.
อรหังสัมมาสัมพุทโธภะคะวาพุทธังภะคะวันตังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตภะคะวะตะธัมโมธัมมังนามัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภะคะวะโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนะมามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะ
respect the most venerable Professor Dr. Pratep Vachara Bandit, Director of Mahajula Longkorn Rajvidyalaya University, and my blessing to all honorable participants to attend the special English course organized by Language Institutes, collaborated with us MCU ASEAN Study Center and Foreign Affairs, Student Affairs Divisions of MCU. So on behalf of the Language Institutes, together with MCU ASEAN Study Center and Student Affairs Divisions of MCU, I would like to give a warm welcome to all participants to attend the special English course today. As we know that Language Institutes collaborated with ASEAN Study Center and Student Affairs Divisions of MCU, organized the English special course in reading and writing for not only foreign students, but international students, and also general people who are interested to study, to improve, to develop their English with Language Institutes. The purpose of this special English course is that to encourage MCU students and in both Thai and foreign students, we can say international students, to have in English and to enhance the potential in reading and writing skill in English, and also to promote a cooperation network between Language Institutes and other divisions within the university. Most importantly, to encourage our MCU students in both Thai and foreign students to use their English, the language, for propagations, the Buddha's teaching. Today, we are delighted to have Associate Professor Dr. Thiravit Pinyo Nathakan, my teachers, my elder brother from Delhi University. He has excellent qualification in in his education. I respect him as my elder brother, as my teacher, and he gives honor and opportunity to Language Institutes to share his knowledge and ability to with our students. So once again, I am delighted to have all participants to join with us today. I hope all participants, international students, Thai and foreign students, to have opportunity to improve English with Professor Dr. Thiravit Pinyo Nathakan today. I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to and the most venerable Professor Dr. Pratep Vachara Bandit, and also Associate Professor Dr. Pratep Veti, who gave policy to Language Institutes to improve MCU student English in both reading and writing skill today. So thank you very much, and hope you all enjoy with our program today. Thank you.
So, on behalf of the personnel administrators of Language Institute, I would like to thank Venerable Prajan, Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasurasak Pachantaseno, the Director of Language Institute. And now I would like to call upon Associate Professor Dr. Konit Sitong, Assistant to Director for Academic Affairs, to please be here to welcome our special lecturer and also all the participants. Please, sir.
Respect, Venerable Director of Language Institute of MCU, my dear participants, my dear students. Today, on behalf of the MCU, I welcome you all, and I wish that this course, English course in reading and writing, will be profitable and will be valuable, not only for your academics area, but for your daily life also. Language Institute of MCU is the most valuable institute that the MCU prize and let this institute take such a wonderful responsibility to train lecturer, teacher, student, with the hope that our MCU will be ranking in the higher ranking compared to other university. English is very important for those who live in the current world, because English is the tool. If you know or you are very good at English, you can search, you can find out the valuable body of knowledge that are available in this world. Today, English course in writing and reading is very important. I would like to share my experience in this regard. As you know, as a Thai, I am Thai. My English, it's very poor. It was very poor in the beginning, because since primary school or even secondary school, we taught in Thailand, and we were taught in Thai only. English just only the compulsory for us to study. We just study for the examination, for passing the grade, just only the grades, because we have no time, and we think that we did not use English in our day-to-day lives. But in the present world, English is very important. It's very important. Since I completed my BA, and then I went to study in India, so that my English is not so good, but I convinced myself that I will go further. I will go to study in abroad. So I have to train in languages. These four skills have to. They are very closely related to each other, especially in reading and writing. If you want to be the excellent writer, you have to read more. At the same time, if you cannot do like this, because the reading you can have more vocabulary. Once you have more vocabulary, you have the power, you have vocabulary power, you can write in English, and especially in the academic area. So welcome you on for this opportunity to practice, to have the knowledgeable instructor or lecturer who will be guide you, who will be training you for this course. On behalf of the MCU executive and staff, I would like to thank the director of LIMCU, the associate professor, Dr. Thiravit, and especially for all of you who have come to participate in this course today. I hope that this course will be profitable and valuable for you all, not only in your academic area, but in your daily life. Thank you very much indeed. Namaskar krab.
On behalf of the Director of Language Institute, the personnel, administrators, staff, and as well as the participants today, I would like to thank Associate Professor Dr. Konit Sitong, Assistant to the Rector for Academic Affairs of MCU, for sharing his wonderful words and morale to encourage our students to learn English more and more. Thank you very much, sir. And without further ado, I would like to introduce today's special lecturer. So as I've already mentioned his name is Associate Professor Dr. Thiravit Pinyonatakkan. And his academic position, as you all know, that he's an associate professor. If I'm not wrong, it's in linguistics, right? And currently he's working at the School of Liberal Arts, or let's say Faculty of Liberal Arts in Shinawat University, which is located in Pathum Thani. And for his educational background or qualifications, he obtained his bachelor's degree or BA in education fromฬาลงกรณราชว University, Bangkok in 1979, whereas his postgraduate in MA in English from University of Delhi, India in 1982. And he obtained his MPhil, or Master's in Philosophy in Linguistics from University of Delhi, India in 1985. And finally, he obtained his PhD in linguistics as well from University of Delhi in India in 1991. So his area of specialization is linguistics, literature, English education, English language teachings, right? And for his publications or editorial activities, he has become a journal reviewer in 3 journals, or he has also become 10 reviewers in different journals, let's say. And for the names of publication, he has both published internationally and nationally. He has published 10 international publications and 20 national publications. And some of the recent papers he wrote was on globalization of English in ASEAN with special emphasis on Thailand, in language teaching matters, papers in honor of Z.N. Patil, edited by K. Venkat Reddy, which was published in Hyderabad, India, and also like socio-cultural security and integration in ASEAN as a keynote in the conference manual in the 9th China ASEAN Education Cooperation Work and National Culture Research Forum in Shinnan Normal University in China. Sorry, please, could you please turn off your microphone first? Okay, and publications like ASEAN Community and Thailand's needs for English proficiency for better job opportunities, proceedings, they published in proceedings in 4th Ratchapat University National and International Conference and Buriram, Thailand, and many other important research articles published in like Thai Chinese, their language, culture, and religion, the proceedings of International Conference on Buddhist Culture and Maritime Silk Road in 21st Century, Western Normal University, and White Emerald Buddha Temple, 2016 in Shanghai, China, Digital Currency, Emerging Trends in World Financial Systems in BRU Journal of Multidisciplinary Science of Management in Buriram, Thailand, Mind and Enlightenment in Buddhism, Journal of MCU, Buddha Panya Review in Nakhon Pathom, Thailand. And like he was also co-researchers in styles and needs in learning English for using tablets, PCs among grade 1 students at Kasem Bandit Journal in Bangkok, Thailand. And there are many more. There are many more publications, as you can find in the internet if you have, and he'll also maybe introduce some of them. So let's say, without further ado, I would like to give this moment to Associate Professor Dr. Thirawit Pinyo-Natakan to take over here and share his valuable knowledge. Please, sir, are you in the line? Is Ajahn Thirawit in the line?
อาจารย์ธีรวิทย์เปิดไมค์ด้วย Professor Thirawit, could you please turn on your microphone?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, sir. Clearly, very clear.
All right, good. Thank you. ท่านพระมหาสุรศักดิ์ผอ.ท่านผอ.โอเคครับ ผมลืมเปิดไมโครโฟน โอเคนมัสการท่านเจ้าคุณพระเทพเวทีท่านพระมหาสุรศักดิ์ท่านผู้ช่วยศาสตราจารย์ดร.พระมหาสุรศักดิ์จันทเสนะผอ.สถาบันภาษานะครับของมหาวิทยาลัยมหาจุฬาลงกรณราชวิทยาลัยต้องขอบพระคุณท่านที่ให้เกียรติเชิญมาเป็นผู้อบรมเป็นผู้ให้ความรู้เป็นผู้ถวายความรู้พระภิกษุพระสงฆ์ที่ทั้งนานาชาติและประเทศไทยคิดว่าอย่างนั้นนะครับที่กำลังศึกษาอยู่ที่มหาวิทยาลัยแห่งนี้นะครับผมขออนุญาตท่านใช้ภาษาอังกฤษนะครับท่านได้ยินชัดเจนไหมครับท่านพระมหาอาชิระ Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, clearly, Ajahn Thirawit. Please continue.
Okay, very good. I can start now. But before I start, I would have to share the screen first. So, Namaskar, all venerables, all international students studying at Mahachulalongkorn Rajvidyalaya University. I would like to thank the director of the Language Institute and all the venerables who involved in the development of the Language Institute, and also all the Thai as well as international students who are studying at MCU for their contribution, for their activities that contribute to the development of MCU. I would now like to take the opportunity to start giving my lecture in English. With your permission, I would like to share the screen first. Before that, I have to stop this and then look for the file and bring up the file and share the screen. Please wait for a moment, okay, before I start my lecture. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt. I also have put some of the ebooks that Ajahn Thirawit recommended. I will just put it on the chat. So if anyone wants to download it, you can go on the chat and download it for the participants, okay?
Okay, Bhante, venerables, can you see the screen now?
Okay, then we can see a screen, please.
Okay, good, good. Is it clear enough, big enough for you, I hope?
Maybe you can zoom in a little bit.
Okay, good. Is it all right now? Should be okay, right?
Okay, then okay, okay. Then
Thank you,
please.
thank you, Bhante. Thank you very much. So I would like to start with the introduction, the first chapter. But before that, I would like to talk a little bit about reading, which is a part of the topic for today's lecture. Talking about reading, I think it's very important for you all who are doing MA and PhD at this university. So you should know reading strategies, various types of reading. You must have enough reading skills for your research, for your thesis writing, for your dissertation writing. And the very important thing for you is the purpose. What is the purpose of your reading? You need to know the purpose before you start reading, because there are many types of reading. Reading for pleasure, okay? Reading for information. Then there are many types of reading: skimming, scanning, reading for different purposes. But what is important for you, I think, is extensive reading and critical reading. So I would like to suggest you do the readings in your field, especially in Buddhism. There are 100,000 of books that you can read about Buddhism on the internet. Free download, okay? You can go ahead with that and practice reading every day in your field. You don't need to worry about other field, but worry about your own field. Buddhism, religions, philosophy, English, something like that, okay? Please try to improve yourself in reading. The more you practice, the more you are experienced, and the more skillful you will become. And you will be an expert in your field, finally, ultimately, okay? I would like to share something, but it will be done after this. Because I put up this on screen, I have to go ahead with this first, all right? And after that, I will spend some time on reading. Okay, let's start with the first chapter, which is mentioned in your schedule, okay? In your schedule, I'll just go to that. Introduction, okay. Here's the first chapter that you should focus on. Introduction. The first thing you need to know is, what is academic writing? What is academic writing? How much do you know about academic writing? Okay, academic writing is not just, common writing. It is a particular style of writing, and it is characteristic of academic institutions like MCU, like Harvard, like Oxford, likeฬาลงกรณ์ University. It is the
Please turn on your microphone, sir. We cannot hear.
Sorry, Ajahn Tirut, could you, your microphone has been offed. Could you please turn on?
somebody did that for me. I think somebody did it there.
Okay.
I didn't do anything.
Okay,
Can you hear
so-
me now?
Okay, Ajahn, yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So academic writing is used by undergraduates, graduates, and lecturers, even myself, when we explore particular academic questions in essays, in academic papers, in dissertations, PhD thesis, and all other kind of academic papers. Though it shares many similarities with other styles of writing, it also has its own characteristic features that you need to understand, okay? And we are going to talk about the features of this type of writing, academic writing, in just a moment from now, okay? I will just focus on the main points, not everything. You can read by yourself, okay? The ebook I have sent to you, okay? It will be distributed to you later, I think. But first, we need to understand the following characteristics of a well-written academic paper or essay, okay? A well-written academic paper must have the following characteristics or features. Must put forward a coherent argument, must support that argument with evidence. Your evidence can be statistics, can be examples, can be other types of visual illustrations, images, for example. Must show the writer's knowledge of the subject. You must know the subject well enough to write about, okay? Deep enough to write about. Must show evidence of reading. You must have been reading quite a lot before you start writing, okay? So reading before writing. If you don't read anything, how can you write about anything? That is the question, okay? Next, you have to reflect independent thinking. Your independent thinking, your critical thinking. You cannot just cut and paste or copy things from other people. That is called plagiarism. You should avoid that. Plagiarism is the stealing of other people's ideas and put them as your own without citing the sources. That is plagiarism, okay? And your academic paper must contain some quotations, some famous quotations. For example, Albert Einstein in science, but in your field, you have many great Buddhist scholars to quote, okay, to cite their quotes. And your paper must contain references and a bibliography, a must. When you write an academic paper for publishing in any kind of journal in Thailand or in other countries, you must write the paper with the references, okay? And you must, in your academic writing, you must adopt a formal style, You cannot use conversational language, spoken language, slang, or common words. You have to use the formal, the technical words. And your style must be formal, official, according to the standards and requirements of that particular journal that you are setting for publication. And next, you have to be logical in your thinking, in your writing, and also be analytical. You have to be analytical. You must know how to analyze things, how to dissect things into different parts, trying to understand each part very clearly before you assemble them back into a complete picture of the thing, okay? And last point is that in your academic paper, it has to be clearly structured. Clearly structured. Mostly, usually, as a normal practice, you must have the introduction, all right? You must have the body. You must have the conclusion of your writing, of your paper. That's it. Apart from your topic, apart from your name as the author, your university or your affiliation, and the abstract in case of academic paper before the introduction. All right, good. Now, then I would move on to the next part of this chapter. It would be about the general suggestion. I would like to focus on this part. Okay, if you are in a college or university, of course you are now because you are MA students, PhD students, and you wish to improve your academic writing skills and achieve higher scores in your assignments or achieve your aims in writing your thesis, your dissertation, okay? And you may need to work carefully on some of or even all of the following areas before you start writing. You need to understand the basic concepts of the following points. Your basic writing skills, you need to know yourself, whether your grammar is good enough, your vocabulary is strong enough, your writing skill is there, you know different types of sentences and you know how to put them together, you know, simple sentence, complex sentence, mixed sentence, okay, all sorts of things. You have to know that. Planning your, oh my God, sorry, something is falling. It's falling, okay. You need to plan your writing, okay? Before you start writing, you need to plan things out. What are you going to write about? What is your topic? Where are you going to get the sources and resources for your writing? Okay, you set the time, the schedule, and everything by planning. Then you need to know how to write a paragraph, a good paragraph, what types of paragraph you are going to write about. Is it descriptive, narrative, argumentative, persuasive, or what? You need to know, all right? Mostly in your academic papers, in your thesis writing, it has to be argumentative. Okay, for some maybe descriptive, maybe narratives. Okay, but the main thing is your logic behind that. Okay, next you have to structure your writing. Okay, you have the introduction, the body, the conclusion, mostly. Okay, then you need to understand different types of sentences. Don't write run-on sentences or run-together sentences without punctuation, only phrases put together, no verbs, no subject, okay? You need to understand the basic grammar of your writing. Then you need to understand different types of sentences, clauses, phrases, okay? Your vocabulary is very important. From my own experience, when I was a young novice, I used to memorize the whole dictionary, okay? The whole dictionary at that time by Saw Setabut, by Mom Luong Mani Chum Sai. They are no more now, but I learned from them, from their dictionary, and I memorized the whole dictionary when I was a young novice. I could do that, but not now, okay? But that stayed together with me all my life. It's still with me even now. So I would like to suggest that you try to master the vocabulary as much as you can, especially in the field of Buddhism, in the field of philosophy, or even in the field of English language, all right? So try in every possible way so that you can be the master of the field that you are dealing with or you are working on, okay? Now, you have to make some links in your writing, This is what we call transition, okay? From one paragraph to another paragraph, to one idea to another idea. You need to make some transition, smooth transition. You cannot jump from one paragraph to another paragraph without transition, okay? So otherwise your writing will not be readable, okay? It would be boring. It would be just fractional ideas. nobody is going to be interested in that kind of writing. Okay. Lastly, here you have to write in a formal style. You need to know what is a formal style. Okay, you need to understand more about this, and I will show you more later here. Okay, don't forget this part, punctuation. In our language, we have no clear punctuation. We don't use full stop. We don't use comma. We don't use so many, punctuation marks. Unlike English, in English, they have clear punctuation for different sentences. All right. Okay, when you write in English, you have to follow English standard. Okay, punctuation is there. Summarizing and paraphrasing, it will be explained in the next chapter. But right now, you need to understand when you write something, you cannot just copy from other people 100%. You have to summarize. Okay, maybe 1/3, maybe one half, something like that. But you need to summarize in your own words. And you need sometime to have to paraphrase. You have to do the paraphrasing. That is, rewrite the whole paragraph, rewrite the whole passage with your knowledge of English in your own words, in your own style, all right? To avoid what we call plagiarism. And sometimes you have to quote, you have to refer to somebody else. And also keep in mind plagiarism. This is very important word for you to remember. Plagiarism. Keep that in mind. You'll be a good academic writer if you know this well enough. You have to avoid this, okay? 100%. And then think about your structure, your consistency, parallelism and consistency. Okay, two concepts in one phrase. You need to understand parallelism. Parallelism is the ability, your ability to use the same structure throughout your paper. Okay, your structure must be compatible, must be parallel, must be, in some kind unified. Okay, and you need to be consistent throughout. You cannot just do this, do that here and there without consistency. You have to be consistent in your writing. Okay, then finally you need to prepare a kind of a bibliography or references at the end of your paper. I'm talking about your paper, not the thesis right now. So let's start with the paper, with the essay, with the article. Okay. All right, now, another general suggestion here. Plan your essay. In your case, plan your writing, plan your academic paper. Write a good introduction with a clear statement of your intent, a clear statement of your thesis. That's what we call thesis statement. Structure your essay clearly, structure your paper clearly. Write paragraphs with clear topic, sentence. This is very important. One paragraph, one topic sentence. I'm not talking about the introduction. I'm not talking about the conclusion. I'm talking about the body paragraphs. You can have 4 or 5 body paragraphs, but only one paragraph for introduction in your article, okay? And one paragraph for your conclusion. But in the body paragraphs, you must have a topic sentence for each paragraph, okay? Where is the topic sentence? How do you get the topic sentence? What is it? What is a topic sentence? Can you interact with me, Venerable? Oh, I have seen some lay people. Miss Gail, okay. Miss Gail, can you hear me? Can you see me? I can see your name on the screen, Miss Gail. Maybe she cannot hear me. Okay, forget about that. Right, you write paragraph with your clear topic sentence. Topic sentence is the main idea of the paragraph. Okay, it is usually located in the initial position, in the first position of that paragraph, but it can be in the middle. It can even be at the end of the paragraph if you know well enough to write or to hide your idea here and there as an experienced author, writer. Okay, good. Now you have to write grammatically coherent sentences. Your grammar is very important. If you don't have a good grammar, a good grasp of grammar, of English grammar, you cannot write a good sentence. You cannot write a good paragraph. You cannot write a good academic paper. So your grammar is there. Your word of choice of words are there. Okay? Now, you have to use appropriate academic style, reflecting the conventions of academic writing. You have to use appropriate academic vocabulary. You need to punctuate your paper correctly. And finally, you need to write a good conclusion. A good conclusion. Okay? Right, now, let me move quickly to this part. I think you need to understand the following sections. When you write your research report, your academic paper, okay, you need to understand 3 parts. The first part is preliminaries, okay? And then your main text, and then your end matter, okay? The detail will follow shortly after this, okay? You can see this. Here is what I would like to focus on. Features of academic writing. You need to understand the following features of your academic writing, okay? And remember, academic writing in English is linear, meaning it has one central point or theme with every part contributing to the main line of your argument. And of course, without digressions, without repetitions. Keep that in mind. Your objective is to inform rather than entertain. You are not going to entertain anyone, but you are going to inform, to persuade, okay, the reader. And this is the standard written form of the language. There are 6 main features. Remember the following 6 main features of academic writing that are often discussed. And remember, academic writing is complex. Complex, number 1. Formal, number 2. Objective, number 3. Explicit, number 4. Hedged, number 5. And responsible, number 6. So 6 main features of the academic writing. Okay, please keep these features in your mind when you start writing your paper. Okay, number 1, complexity. Complexity. Your academic paper is complex, complicated. It's not simple. It's not that easy. So written language is more complex than spoken language. When you speak English, you don't need to worry about grammar so much, all right? You speak what you think, and you speak what you want to speak. You say what you want to say. It's easier than the written language, okay? You don't need to worry too much about the grammar. But in written language, the grammar is there. You cannot ignore grammar. You cannot forget it, okay? Written language has longer words, lexically more dense and more varied vocabulary. And that is why I repeat again and again, here and there, your vocabulary is very important. It is the starting point of your writing life. Because you are not a native speaker of English, you cannot think it from the top of your head right away. No way. You have to store them here. You have to have it in your brain first before you can produce it. Unlike native speakers, they are born in their English-speaking country and molded by the environment, everything there. They can think in English, they can think anything, they can speak anything, okay, from the top of their head, but not us. not you, not me. Okay, so you need to understand the complexity of your writing. Okay, and the second point is your the formality. Formality here, formality. Your writing is formal. Formal. You need to follow the formal style. Okay, so you have to stick to the requirements, the standards of that particular journal or of the journal that you are writing for. Okay, you should avoid colloquial words and expressions. No. Okay, use formal language, use written language, use appropriate language in your writing. Number 3, your objectivity. Your objectivity. So written language is in general objective rather than personal. It's not personal. Okay, you cannot use I, you, we, he, she there, like, you know, the way you are speaking. You are using the spoken language. Your academic paper is formal and you have to use written language. Okay, this means that the main emphasis should be on the information that you want to give and the arguments you want to make, rather than you, rather than I. Okay, rather than the pronouns, the first pronoun. I mean to say that. So try to give, okay, the argument, the information, okay, and try to avoid being personal in your argument. Okay, don't use I in the report of your research. Now, number 4, explicitness. Explicitness. Academic writing is explicit. Okay, about the relationship in the okay, this is something wrong here, in the text, and it is the responsibility of the writer, of your responsibility, okay, to make it clear to the reader how the various parts of your text are related. Okay, and number 5, hedging. Hedging is quite a concept. Okay, in any kind of academic writing you do, it is necessary to make decisions. By hedging means you have to make decisions about your stance on a particular subject or the strength of your claims or the claims you are making. So different subjects prefer to do this in different ways. Keep the word hedging in your mind. You can look for more definitions in the dictionary. Okay, it involves the possibility, probability, decision making, and things like that. Okay, it's still there. It's a part of your academic paper. You can still hedge. All right. Okay, good. Now, number 6, the last feature of your academic paper, responsibility. In your academic writing, you must be responsible for and must be able to provide evidence and justification for it. All right, any claim you make, and you are responsible for this demonstrating and understanding of any source text you use. Okay, so the most common pieces of writing in the academic world are the following. You can remember, you can focus: essays, reports, research papers. Okay, the 3 important kind of pieces of writing in the academic world. Okay, good. Now let me move on. I have little time, so I have to move faster. This is what I would like to explain a little bit more here. Okay, I will just go right into this part. Essay sections. You have what we mentioned earlier. What do we mean by preliminaries? We mean, title page, what comes before the main text. Then the main text will include introduction, body, conclusion. Your end matter refers to this part, references. Okay, maybe acknowledgement sometimes. Preliminary, think about this part before you start. Okay, sorry. The main part of your essay or your assignment, you must have the title page. The title page should contain information to enable your lecturer or your teacher or other people who read your paper to identify exactly what the piece of work is. So it should include your name, the course, the title of the assignment, and any references. Okay, this is just very common thing, simple thing, not difficult for you. Let's move past this. Your main text. English essays are linear, remember that. The main text of the essay has the following three main parts. I think all the venerables here in this room, in this online class, know something about this already. I don't need to explain too much about it because you know, okay? Your job is just to practice more, okay? And write more, that's all. Introduction, main body, conclusion. Introduction consists of two parts. A, what is it? It should include a few general statements about the subject to provide a background to your paper and to attract the reader's attention. You should try to explain why you are writing the essay, okay, the paper, okay? And you can include definition of terms in your paper, in the context of your paper. And in B, it should also include a statement of the specific subdivisions of the topic or indication of how the topic is going to be tackled in order to specifically address the question, all right? Okay, now the main body, done with introduction. The main body, remember the word the main. The word the main is very important. Detail is here. Important information is here, all right? It's not in the introduction. It's not in the conclusion. It is in the main body. The most important part of your writing, especially your academic writing, okay? Your main body. The conclusion will be your final point. So you should recall the issues, the main points, the main arguments, the main focus in the introduction and draw them together, okay, in your conclusion. And also you need to explain the overall significance of the conclusion, okay? Asking yourself this question, what general points can be drawn from the essay as a whole, okay? And this question will guide you through the answer. You will get the answer. It should clearly signal to the reader, I mean the conclusion, your conclusion, should clearly signal to the reader that the essay is finished and leave nothing to imagination. Remember that, leave nothing to imagination. Finish is finished, nothing more, okay? Make it clear and leave a clear impression that your purpose has been met, has been achieved, okay? Now, this is in the table. You can see and understand quickly about the introduction. This is the summary. The summary, what you should do in the introduction, general statement, organization statement, your main body would include the following, okay? Your first sentence, introductory sentence, your main point, number 1, 2, 3, 4. And then in each paragraph, you should have your concluding sentence. It's not a conclusion, but concluding sentence of each paragraph. It is the sentence that sums up the main idea of that particular paragraph again. All right, if you can do this, you can be a good writer. Then the next paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, would follow the same format. Conclusion, remember, recall, restate the issues mentioned already in the introduction. Draw them together, okay, the main points, and give your final comment, final touch, okay? that would impress your readers. And in the end method, it's easy, nothing, only differences, bibliography, okay. But do it professionally. What style do you follow? APA style, MLA style, Harvard style, or Chicago style? There are many manuals, style manuals. Let me ask you, what do you use at MCU? APA style or MLA style? Venerable Nayana, can you hear me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Very good. Very good to hear from you. I would like to ask you whether you follow APA style or what kind of style, writing style for your academic paper and for your thesis. At MCU, what style we are using, APA or MLA or Chicago style, Harvard style or MCU style?
Yes, thank you, Ajahn. So I think it's in my MCU style. So MCU style, I think number one introduction. So one paragraph introduction. So also, for example, so. For example, I have topics so two is MCU, about MCU. So about MCU, one paragraph and introduction. So how do you think in MCU? So MCU is very important for all students. So the MCU is very popular in Thailand. So our university, this is introduction. So bodies, so nice body one paragraph one side 1.2.3 points. So 3 points and then so conclusion. So in conclusions, our views in my conclusions are my university is a good teacher. So different students in my country and many countries from here, our university to learn. So our general knowledge, we will get our improvements. We will get to our improvements, our nation, our country. So in my view, in my opinion, so we can do, we can rise, we can start, we can say this in my conclusion. So one introduction, number two body, number three conclusion is MCU strength, yeah, in my views. So thank you so much.
Okay, Venerable, very good, very good. Thank you very much for your comments and for your ideas. Very useful,
Yes.
very useful. I understand you
Yes.
more. I understand the situation of MCU more. Okay, thank you very much. Now let me move on to the process of writing your academic paper. In this case, the process of writing an essay, but it will follow the same anyway, the same process. You can apply this process to your academic paper, to your thesis writing, and other kind of writing as well, okay? Now let's focus our mind on the process of writing, the process of writing. You have the task here and the skills needed in the second column, and the third column would be your product. If your task in number one is read the question and understand what you are required to do. Think about the subject, the purpose, and the audience. So you need to have thinking skill, especially thinking academically. You have to think like a philosopher. You have to think like an expert, okay? You cannot think like a novice. You have to think like a full-fledged Buddhist monk, okay? With experience, with reasons, with logic, with knowledge, enough knowledge, okay? and then you get your final product as your essay subject or your paper, academic paper. Okay, now if your task is number two, think about what you know about the subject. Write it down in some way. What you need here is brainstorming. Brainstorming, you know how to do brainstorming? Venerable Pratana Vachara, I can see your name there and your face. Can you respond to my question? Do you know how to do brainstorming? Venerable? I think I need to some interaction. I need some Supakit. Supakit, are you there? Let me scroll up the name here. Scroll up the name, not this part. Pra Supakit, are you there? ท่านสุภกิจครับ
ครับผม
ท่านสุภกิจตอบคำถามครับท่านรู้จัก brainstorming ไหมครับ Do you know what brainstorming is?
Yes I know
Okay, how do you do brainstorming? Very good answer. Yes. Okay, brainstorming. When you need to think about something, about your subject, about your topic, you need to do brainstorming. And do you have the skill for that? How do you do that? Okay, just interact with me to make our online class more interesting, more enjoyable. Okay. Tell me, what do you do when you brainstorm? ท่านสุภกิจเวลาท่านระดมสมองเนี่ยท่านทำอะไรบ้างท่านตอบเป็นไทยก็ได้ตอบเป็นไทยก็ได้ครับ What do you do when you do brainstorming?
Hello, Ajahn. Can I talk about that?
Oh, sure. Please. Very good.
Yeah. When I just start doing brainstorming, I just focus on the main problem, maybe the title, and I start think about the related topics, and I develop more. Yes, that how I make my brainstorming. Usually I draw mind mapping. Yes.
Wonderful. That's the way. Yes, that's how you do it. Yes. Good. Very good point. You can do solo, solo brainstorming. Solo means alone by yourself. You can just be yourself, sitting alone, thinking about your topic, exploring the ideas, writing down your ideas, drawing a diagram of your ideas and things like that. It's easy. Solo brainstorming. It is called solo brainstorming. Another kind of brainstorming is group brainstorming. You can do group brainstorming with your friends, your colleagues, and other experts in the field, all right? That is called group brainstorming. Then you jot down the main points, the main ideas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, without interruption, okay? And later on, you can pick and choose the best ideas, the good idea, and leave out ideas that are not so good, okay? Take only the good ideas, the best idea, leave other things. That is what we mean by brainstorming, okay? Then the third point, if you have to go to the library and find relevant books or articles, you need some skill. When I was a student in India, 30 years ago anyway, more than 30 years ago, I first went to the library. I didn't know anything. I didn't know who to ask. I didn't know what to do in the library, being a newcomer, a stranger in town, I went around talking to many people before I went to the right section, asking the librarian directly about where I can find this book, where is the book located? Okay, I need this book. Can you help me? Blah, blah, blah. Okay. You need your library skill as well. You need to know where to look for, what to look for. Okay, when to look for. Okay. And number 4, find the books on your reading list and study them. You need what? This is your focus today. Your focus today. Number 4, reading skills. reading skill. What skills do you have here? You have skimming skill, scanning skill. Can anyone hear? Kun Orawan, are you there? Orawan Bun Prasad. Can you hear me? No, I can see you, but maybe you cannot respond. Okay, we have skimming, basic reading skills, okay? Skimming and scanning. Skimming is used when you want to have the general view, the general idea of the paragraph that you are reading, okay? You skim here and there, okay? You don't need to read every word, every sentence. For scanning, you use this type of skill when you want some specific data, specific information, like the year, the name of the people, the name of the place, okay? You just use scanning technique, scanning skill, okay? But your reading skills, let me talk about reading skill right here as well. Maybe we don't have time at the end, okay? You need to have skimming skill, scanning skill, and other skills as well. Because you are going to read extensively, you're going to read analytically, okay? You are going to read according to your purposes. Sometimes you have to read every word, every sentence, and try to understand the meaning there, okay? And most of the time you have to do the textual analysis. You have to analyze the structure of the paragraph, the structure of the sentence, and you have to think about the context that the paragraph has been produced, has been written. You have to do a lot of things: semiotic analysis, semantic analysis, syntactic analysis, okay, grammatical analysis as well. So reading is a complex skill as well. You need to develop yourself from a simple step to the advanced step. And you have to be a speed reader. You have to read fast and understand, okay? You have to practice reading every day before you can read faster and understand more, okay? You can look at the internet about the fastest reader on the Guinness book. There's one man who can read one book in just 5 minutes. Okay, 300 pages in just 20 minutes. Just go and check the fastest reader on the Guinness book and you can follow some examples. Okay, you can learn, you can practice, you can improve yourself toward that end, toward that ultimate goal of your life, to be the fastest reader in the world. Okay, I cannot do that, but you can practice. Now, think about number 5, make notes on these books and articles. This is very important skill for you. When you read, you have to be able to make notes of what you read or what you are reading. And the notes will be collected, compiled, sorted out for use in your academic writing, in your thesis writing, okay, later. So develop your note-taking skill. You don't need to read in full sentences. Just take notes of the important points, important ideas, and then you can put them together later. If you understand what you are reading well enough, okay? Just notes will help you. You don't need to write everything down. Okay, good. Now, note-taking skill, it's very important for you as a researcher, as a graduate student, as a PhD student. So practice, make perfect. The more you practice, the more you learn. The more you are experienced, the more you are skillful. Okay, good. Now, let's move on to the next part. Organize your essay, your assignment. As a student, whether graduate, undergraduate, or postgraduate, you have assignment. Your teacher, your professor will give you some assignment. and you have to learn how to finish your assignment in time and effectively. Okay, not just a piece of rubbish, but a piece of good writing, a good piece of assignment. Okay, you need to plan, you need to organize. Okay, that's your skill. Number 7, this is easy, no problem. Type or write your first draft. Think about this. I like you to focus on the word first draft. Writing is never, never ends. You need the first draft, the second draft, the third draft before you get the final draft to submit to your teacher, to submit to your professor, to submit to the university. If it is a thesis, a dissertation, all right? So you need to know how to do your draft efficiently, professionally. Then you need to discuss your draft with your friends, your member of your group or lecturer or your teachers or your supervisors. You need to discuss. It's not a finished product from your side alone. You have to get some ideas from others. You have to get some comments and put them, for the completion of your work. Okay? You need a lot of revisions and changes in the process. So don't get disheartened. Okay, if you cannot do it all once in the first draft, you can do it again and again. You can keep trying. Okay. Now, when you revise your first draft, this is about your writing. Okay, your writing. Bear in mind any comments that were made in your discussion. Use dictionaries or reference books. Okay. Think about your introduction, conclusion, your quotation, your references, and then you get the second draft. And before the final draft, you have to do this, proofread your draft. Proofread your draft. I have seen a lot of writings, even from MCU, that a lot of mistakes, spelling mistake, grammatical mistakes, a lot. Why? Because you didn't proofread it before you gave it to me. Okay, so proofread your draft first before you give it to others, especially to your teachers, to your professor, to your supervisor. Proofread it, okay, check spelling mistake, check punctuation and grammar, check your vocabulary, check your style, check your organization and references. And finally, check plagiarism. Check plagiarism, the stealing of other people's ideas without citing the sources. ขโมยความคิดของคนอื่นพญานุมานราชธนนั่นเรียกว่าลักกะวิทยาลักกะวิทยาคือลักขโมยวิทยาขโมยวิทยา okay plagiarism is ลักวิทยาขโมยวิทยา okay so you have to check for plagiarism. Ultimately it should not be there. You should eliminate that before your supervisor finds it. Okay, otherwise you will be blamed. Then produce final version of your draft. Now with the advanced technology, typing technology, internet technology, anything is possible. It's just one click. One click away and you get everything in this today world. You don't need to wait for 10 days, 20 days, 5 days, or 1 week to get your work done. You can do it in just a few minutes. All right, it's easy. Your life is easy, but you have to plan. You have to know the technology, and you must know how to use technology for your success, for your progress, for your professionalism, for everything that you need in this world, in this life. Okay, technology is a very important part of your life. Learn about it, know about it, be able to use it for your benefit and also for other people's benefits as well. Because you are not living in this world alone, you are living with other people. So you need to be useful to other people as well. All right? Okay, good. Now, the last step, check everything. Can you do that? Can you check everything? Just relatively speaking anyway. I know we cannot check everything. but try your best to check everything and correct every mistake. Do it as much as you can, to your utmost, to the best of your ability. All right, good. That's it. Now, let me move on to the next part. Venerable, are you sleepy? Ladies and gentlemen, are you sleepy now?
No sleep again.
No,
Yeah,
no
listen.
sleep.
Very good, Venerable Gundala. Are you from Nepal or from Bangladesh?
I'm from Myanmar.
Oh,
Now
Myanmar. Oh, from Myanmar.
Yeah, now I'm in Thailand.
Oh, you're in Thailand. Which part of Myanmar? Mandalay or
Mandalay.
Rangkun?
Mandalay.
I've been to Mandalay. I love Mandalay.
great.
Very historical city.
Yeah, me
Very-
too. Me too, sir.
Very historic place.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
Ayutthaya, like Sukhothai in Thailand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next point I would like you to familiar with is writing in a formal style. What do I mean by writing in a formal style? Your academic papers, your essays, are formal entities. The language you use must or should reflect that entity, that formality. The style of an academic essay should be appropriate and consistent. Appropriate and consistent. 2 words, keep in mind. Appropriate and consistent. And it is very different from an informal piece of writing. Very different. It's not writing a diary. It's not writing a love letter to your loved one. Okay? It's a formal writing, academic writing. So keep this in mind and look at the following examples. In your academic writing, don't use multi-word verbs. Okay? They are not appropriate in formal writing. Here are some of the examples. Don't use call up, colon, call up, blah, blah. These 2-word verbs or multi-word verbs are not part of the formal writing. You can use it in your conversation, in your spoken language, it's fine. But look at this. Okay, focus on this. Focus on this. Informal, more formal. More formal is what you should follow for your academic writing, okay? Not informal. Informal, you can use it in your conversation, in your spoken language. You can say, he checked up on his accountant in your informal style. But in your formal style, you must use, he investigated his accountant. Investigated, not take up on, okay? They put up with their neighbors. That's informal. But in your writing, in your written language, you must use they tolerated their neighbors. She caught on very quickly, not good for formal style. You should use she understood very quickly. One more example. He went down with a fever. Good for speaking, good for conversation, good in spoken language, but not good for formal style. In your formal style, you must write, he contracted a fever. He contracted a fever, not went down with a fever, okay? Last one, the cost of living went up. The cost of living went up. This is spoken language. In your written language, you must say, the cost of living increased, not went up, okay? This is the difference between informal and formal style. In your academic writing, you have to be formal, of course. You have to follow the spoken and the written language, the formal style, the academic style. Okay, good. Now, let me move on. You want a break, Venerable? Do you have a break, coffee break? I don't know the schedule.
Maybe we can break on 14:30.
Who is the
for 10
moderator?
minutes.
Who is the moderator here? Do you need a break, or how about taking a break for about 10 minutes and then come back?
Sure,
Is
sure,
that okay?
Ajahn, sure, please. Sure,
It's
Ajahn,
okay.
please
It's
do it.
okay. 10-minute break is better.
Good. Okay, please take your break for 10 minutes and come back. We'll meet again after 10 minutes or 15 minutes. All right?
Yes,
Venerable,
okay.
okay?
Yes.
Take a break.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. A break.
Thank
please.
you. Time
Thank you,
rise.
sir. Thank you,
Teacher.
sir.
Okay, the first session has been completed, so we are in
Very
the
good.
middle
Very good,
of
Venerable.
break, right? So I'm the moderator for this class, so you can take
Thank you
10
very
minutes
much.
break,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Please do your personal jobs and come back again at maybe 2:30 p.m. Okay. For the ebooks, I've also shared on the chat. If I don't know if the newcomers can see or not, I have just posted on the chat box. You can download all the files you need recommended from Ajahn Piravit, right? So you also have the same sheet as shared on the screen. So please download it.
We
And
already
we will meet
download.
again.
Very nice.
Recording stopped.
nè.
Okay, so I think we will be continuing with our second session after the break. I hope everyone is still on this Zoom, and I hope Ajahn Thiravit is
Yeah, I'm
also
back,
here already.
Venerable. I'm back.
Okay, I think we should continue. Thank you, Ajahn. Please
Thank
continue.
you, Kap. Thank you, Kap. Thank you so much, Venerable. Okay, Venerable, Namaste, Namaskar, Bhante. I am back. I am ready to continue. Are you ready?
Ready, Ajahn. We are waiting
Yes,
for.
ready.
Yes, I'm ready, Ajahn.
Namaste, Namaskar. If you are ready, I will continue now. Okay, let's start again in our second session about academic writing. In your academic writing, you often find that actions, processes, and events are written in the form of a noun. Keep this in mind, very important. And very few people notice this, okay? If there are actions, processes, and events, they are usually written in the form of a noun. Look at the following examples, okay? The compound was discovered.
Recording in progress.
Becomes. The discovery of the compound was discovered, or the discovery of the compound. What I would like you to notice here is that in your academic writing, you often find that actions, processes, and events are written in the form of a noun. This produces a more formal style. That is the purpose, the real purpose, to produce a more formal style. Another example, they invaded the island and blah, blah, blah. It becomes the invasion of the island was. Next example, he achieved his goal and becomes the achievement of his goal was. So please notice that. You should avoid addressing the reader with the general you. This is considered informal and inappropriate. Look at the following example. Look at the following example. Look at this example. As soon as you start to look carefully at children's home, you frequently find evidence of abuse. This sentence can be rephrased in different ways to avoid the use of you. For example, you can write evidence of child abuse becomes apparent once careful investigative work is carried out, or careful investigation frequently leads to the discovery of child abuse. So do not use contractions in your academic writing, in your academic paper. I have seen some of the venerables who wrote the articles using, contraction. Contraction, they are considered inappropriate in academic work. For example, you can see the example here. If you don't understand the word contraction, here is the example. Can't, won't, shouldn't, haven't, hasn't, couldn't. All of these are considered contractions, and they are not good for academic work. They are considered inappropriate. It's good for conversation, okay? It's good for you to use this in your daily life, but not in your academic paper. In your academic paper, you have to state meaning very clearly, okay? Now, I'm moving on to the next part. This is the next point you should keep in mind. Do not overstate the argument that is being made in your academic paper by using expressions like this. The following expression should be avoided. That's what I want to say. That's what I would like to tell you. Don't use the following structures, okay, in your academic paper. because it's going to be considered overstatement. You overstate something, you exaggerate it, okay? You should not say it is obvious that, it is clear that, the evidence proves, blah, 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 or anybody can clearly see that. All of these sentences are considered overstatement, exaggerations. So you should avoid them, all right? Good. Now, always comment upon your own conclusion in a quietly confident manner. Remember this word. This is very important word. Quietly confident manner. Okay. You should talk about your conclusion. Comment on your conclusion in a quietly confident manner without attempting to claim too much. So if a writer tries to claim that the study proved something, you might find a later researcher taking great pleasure in disproving your findings. So instead, you should use a less strident and more detached academic tone. This is called hedging. You know that? We talked about hedging before, and this is the time to understand more. Subsequent research may suggest other theories, produce results that conflict with your own. So don't be too strong in your conclusion. Don't be too obvious. Don't be too confident. Don't be too proud of your research work, okay? Just be moderate, okay? Quietly confident. Okay, good. The data reflect that these findings support this writer view. This is what you should use, okay? Based on your data, you can say that the data reflect the fact that blah, 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 okay? Then the results suggest that this is what you should use, okay? These findings support, the results suggest, the chart supports, okay? This is what we mean by quietly confident. And then you can use the following expression, but avoid this one. It's too personal. Avoid the use of the expressions such as I think, I believe, unless your own views have been specifically asked for, and use expression like this instead. Use the following. Instead of I believe, use it is believed. Many researchers have noted, okay? Not I have noted, but many researchers have noted. Some writers have stated, blah, blah, blah. You can use these, okay? These phrases are good, okay, for you to write in academic style. Use link words and expressions like however, nevertheless, as a result, in contrast, despite this, as well as link words like firstly, secondly, finally, okay, regularly throughout your writing, okay? That will help guide the reader step by step from one point to another, from one stage to another stage, okay? It's called transition. Smooth transition of your writing would be desirable. Now think about the passive form. If you read this, you will understand more about academic writing. Can you read it? Can you understand it? This paragraph, this sentence, long sentence. Focus your mind on this sentence and follow this suggestion. The passive form is often avoided in other written texts, but you will probably use more examples of the passive form in your academic writing. Because, why? Because they tend to sound more detached and formal. If you use active voice, it will be less detached, less formal. So you should try to use the passive form instead of the active form. Now look at the following example between active and passive, and you will understand more. Okay? Active, they often found evidence of child abuse in rural areas. Then you write it in a passive form. You get evidence of child abuse was often found in rural areas. Okay, now another active. The researchers have proposed a variety of solutions. Then you write it in a passive form. It is better. It is more formal. It is more detached. Okay, and it is good for your academic writing. So you get this sentence. A variety of solutions have been proposed. A variety of solutions have been proposed. Okay, good, good. So you should apply the idea of active form and passive form in your writing. Where it is good for passive, use passive. Where it is good for active, use active. All right, form. Now, 2.4, maybe I can skip this. Planning and structuring. Planning and structuring your writing. It's okay. I can focus on this word. Brainstorm. Brainstorm. Ah, โทษทีมีโทรศัพท์ฮัลโหลผมสอนออนไลน์อยู่ตอนนี้ผมไม่ว่างเนาะหลัง4 โมงนะครับหลัง4 โมงผมกำลังสอนอบรมพิเศษอยู่โอเคโอเคโอเคผมอบรมอยู่เนาะหลัง4 โมงเนี่ยผมดูนะขอบคุณมากขอบคุณมากโอเคครับโอเคครับพอดีมีโทรศัพท์ขัดจังหวะนิดนึงตรงนี้ brainstorm ideas before you build a structure. Brainstorming involves writing down all the ideas that you have in your mind.นะครับ Concerning one particular topic. For example, if you want to write about Nibbana, Nippan, if you want to write about Nibbana, you should do the brainstorming. Okay, so that you can be, you can have better idea, clear idea about the word Nibbana or about the word Nippan. Okay, you should write down in any order. Write down what? Write down the ideas that come into your mind. Okay, write down. Don't worry about the order. Just anything cropping up in your mind, write it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just as they come into your mind. Okay. But many students find it helpful to brainstorm by writing the topic in the center of a large piece of paper. You write the word Nibbana, Nibbana in the center of your paper, okay? And surround it or branch it out into different sub ideas, small points. Okay, that way you can expand your idea about Nippan, about Nibbana. Okay, into different directions, using different words, trying to describe the concept of Nibbana. Okay, with hundreds of ideas, hundreds of words that you can think of. This is what we call brainstorming. You can do solo brainstorming by yourself alone, anywhere, anytime, with just a pen and a piece of paper. And then you can be in the group, asking for their ideas, opinions, suggestions, comments about that particular topic. Then you get different ideas from different peoples. And then you compile them, select them, and use only the best ideas for your purposes. Okay, good. Now, brainstorming is an important part of your writing, especially academic paper. Okay, let me move on. The essay plan is easy. You know about introduction, body, conclusion, no need to focus. Okay, now, I like you to give some example. I'd like to give you some examples, sorry. This is the example. When you write the essay, when you write the academic paper, you should structure your topic. You should structure your paper, right? If I have the topic like this, the pros and cons of tourism in Thailand. So in my introduction, I should say something about my thesis statement. And it goes like this. Tourism in Thailand is valuable, but only if it is properly regulated and monitored by the central government. This is what I'm going to say in my introduction as an example. And it's considered to be my main idea of the introduction called thesis statement. Then I will structure my writing my paper like the following. Paragraph 1, I will talk about a brief outline of Thailand's history. Sukhothai period, Ayutthaya period, Thonburi period, Ratanakosin period, as you know, in my paragraph 1. In my paragraph 2, I will go right into tourism in Thailand, general situation, tourist attraction, numbers of tourists, services available, accommodation, attitudes of local people, and also competition with neighboring countries, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, okay, Malaysia, Singapore, that sort of thing. And in my third paragraph, I would talk about economic reform. And my main idea is economic reform brings about change, okay? Then I would expand the idea into A, B, C, D, E, F, okay? Sorry for that, some mistakes here, okay? The growth of private enterprise, the availability of foreign exchange, national funds, international funds, IMF, etc. Okay? This is how I structure my paper. This is how I organize my idea, okay? This is how I'm going to write my academic paper, okay? Based on my outline. You need to do the outline for your paper as well. Let me move on. In paragraph 4, what is it in paragraph 4? Continuation from paragraph 3. Paragraph 4, I will talk about the growth of tourism in Thailand. And my topic sentence is, the growth of tourism has brought some benefits to Thailand in terms of foreign exchange, employment, opportunity, reduced isolation. And in my paragraph 5, I will talk about the growth of tourism has had a negative impact on Thailand in some ways. This time, I'm going to talk about some effects, negative effects of tourism in Thailand. I'm going to talk about growth of unsuitable hotels, cultural crashes, civilization crashes, limited local employment, small increase in local jobs, low skilled, poorly paid, blah, blah, blah. This is how I structure my paper, okay? And I expect you to do the same. When you write a paper, you should do the outline, you should plan, you should do the planning before you start writing. What are you going to write about in introduction, in paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally in the conclusion? What are you going to conclude? What is your summary? What are the main points you want to focus here, okay, in your conclusion? That's it. Now let me, some small exercise here. I don't know whether you have time for this. Maybe you don't have time. Venerable Ashira, are you there?
Yes, Satan, I'm here.
Oh, I would like to give you some idea that we should have a live group of the participants in today's seminar, so that they can continue practicing and I can continue giving ideas, correcting their writing papers and things like that. Question and answer we can do in our live group. So I would like to have a live group of the participants today. Oh yeah, yeah, so that we can continue. Otherwise, it will be
posted in this chat, so everyone can join the group.
Very good. We can continue our, discussion and sharing things. Thank you very much.
I will.
Now I have some sample. Look at the following example. I have written some example for you, and I'll go quickly on this. I wrote this paper, Why Buddhism as a National Religion in the New Constitution. And it was published in The Nation or Bangkok Post, I'm not sure, long time ago anyway. But I started writing this way. This is one example, sample number 1. You can have a look in the ebook I sent to you. And Venerable Ashira has given you, I think, online.
Yes,
So I
posted
talk
on the
about
chat
this. Yeah. Step by step, I talk about Sīla, Samadhi, Panya, Sila, Samadhi, Panya as well. And I'm trying to make the Thai government understand the significance of Buddhism. Why Buddhism should be the national religion of Thailand at that time. I proposed the idea to the government through the newspaper, The Nation and Bangkok Post. Long time ago anyway. But at that time, I was so excited to write about it. All right. This is the example of writing your academic paper. You can have a look, okay? You can learn something from my paper. That's good. You can do it better than me, of course, with new technology, new information, new discoveries. You can go far beyond my paper. Okay, in my conclusion, here's my conclusion. In my conclusion, to do or not to do about Buddhism in the new Thailand 18 Permanent Constitution is up to all the CDC, Constitution Drafting Committee, and the NLA, National Legislative Assembly members. But to accept it or not in the coming popular referendum is up to all the Thai people, particularly all Buddhists who constitute more than 90% of the whole population in the country, okay? At that time, maybe more now, maybe more. That's my sample number 1. My sample number 2, the topic is this one. Strategies for promoting university, industry, government linkages. I wrote it when I was working for Suratnari University of Technology, okay? And I presented this paper in Poland, in Europe, Poland in 1999. I went to Poland and presented this paper, okay? You can learn something from my paper, okay, good. And my introduction is this one. I started with introduction like this. My introduction is quite short. And then I proposed general strategies for the linkages. Okay, details here in my body, paragraphs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you can see the number, paragraph 6. Okay, paragraph 7, paragraph 8, paragraph 9, paragraph 10, and then my conclusion. Look at the style of my conclusion. My conclusion, very short, brief, okay? All the 10 strategies mentioned above, if followed appropriately, can contribute to the sustainability and progress of the linkages among the university, industry, and government in Thailand, as well as in other countries. They should constitute a common ground for the tripartite linkages and serve as 10 commandments for mutual advantages and recognition. The 10 strategies can be nevertheless summarized in just 3 words. Actions, more actions, and more actions, okay? The way I summarized it. I just made it that way at that time. So my ideas went that way. So I wrote that way. And it's good. I found it's good, even now. Okay, you can learn something from my conclusion. In example 2. I presented this paper in Poland, in Europe, in 1999, when I went to Poland. Passing through London, I stayed in London for 1 night before I went further to Poland. Then my sample number 3. Very interesting, very modern. the impact of science and technology on society. You need to understand the impact of science and technology. This paper I presented in Singapore 1998. And this is my abstract. Remember, when you write academic paper, you must have the abstract before the introduction. The abstract will give the purposes and the methodology, the findings of your research, of your academic paper. So you should have the abstract. Usually about 200 words, up to 400 words, the abstract. For some journals, they just specify, okay, only 200 words, not more than that. If more than that, I would throw it into the basket, the dustbin. ถ้าเกิน200 คำโยนลงถังขยะไปเลยเขาไม่รับ for some journals, okay สำหรับบางวารสาร for some journal maybe 300 words, maybe 400 words. You have to stick to their requirements, their guideline, their standard, okay? Otherwise, your paper will be thrown away, okay? Rejected, okay? My abstract. But remember the topic. You should start with your topic. This is my topic, the impact of science and technology on society, okay? And then my abstract is the summary of my paper. The summary will cover the purposes, the methodology, the findings, okay? 3 main things in your abstract. You should do the same. But MCU has different style anyway. Maybe you have to follow MCU style. Introduction. This is my introduction. Then my paragraph 2. Consider paragraph 2. Paragraph 3. Features of technology. Paragraph 4, 5. This is paragraph 5. Technology as a social force. Okay, so I will go on expanding my idea of technology as a social force, a technology that changes everything in society, including you, including me. All right. And number 6, I talk about social consequences of technological change. Social consequences of technological change. So I focus on this in my chapter 6, or in my paragraph 6. And then I divide it into social cost, okay, biotechnology, a new frontier. And then in my paragraph 7, business applies technology. No business without technology. No education without technology now. You have online classes. You have internet. You have Google, you have blah, blah, because of technology. Technology is moving the world. It's moving everything, including you and myself. So don't underestimate the significance of technology, of science. I know your main focus is religion, is Buddhism, but you cannot ignore science. You cannot ignore technology. Dalai Lama of Tibet always focused on science and technology. He went around the world talking about science and technology in relation to Buddhism. So he is trying to apply science and technology to Buddhism and make Buddhism a great religion in the world with the assistance, with the contribution, with the assistance from science and technology. If you go to Tibet, you can see a lot of centers teaching science and technology for young novices, for Buddhist monks, Tibetan monks. Tibetan monks are very knowledgeable about science and technology. We should follow their examples. Dalai Lama is a great figure of Buddhism. He is well known around the world, everywhere. He has written thousands of books, translated into many languages. You should read Dalai Lama books to get good English, good idea, good philosophy. Though he is from Mahayana sect or Vajrayana sect, It's okay. It's about Buddhism. Yeah. Buddhism is okay. As long as it's laid down by Lord Buddha. It's okay. Whether Mahayana, Hinayana, or Mahayana. Okay. Just try to understand all of these. And then you'll be a perfect person, a complete monk. Buddhist monk who knows Mahayana, who knows Hinayana, Theravada, Buddhism. You can explain everything to them. All right, you will be an expert like Dalai Lama, even in science and technology. Okay, Dalai Lama met many great scientists of the world. They talk about science, they talk about technology, they discuss about the ultimate goal of Buddhism, nirvana, salvation, emptiness, sunyata, you know, all great scientists understand this from Dalai Lama. Okay. And I expect Thai Buddhist monks to do the same, okay? In order to propagate Buddhism around the world, to educated, learned, great scientists, not just to common people. We have to make scientists, leaders understand Buddhism in the right way so that they can move the world toward more sustainable development. Okay, venerables, I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Let me move on anyway. Okay, in my paragraph 8, some economic effects of technology. Okay, higher productivity, more emphasis on research and development, upgraded job skills, more scientific and professional workers, greater capital requirements. Okay, this paper, I think this is the best paper I have written. When I think about what I have done so far in my life, I'm 65 years now. I've done a lot in terms of writing books, academic papers, contribution to the academic community, to the temples, to Buddhist universities, especially our MCU. I graduated from MCU in 1979, 2522 ครับ at Wat Mahathat at that time, long time ago, when I was just 22 years. When I finished from MCU, I was 22 years. And I went to India right after that in 1979 to do my MA, my MPhil and PhD. After Prat Pomandit, 1 year after Prat Pomandit, Jokun Prayun, Wat Prayuravong Sawa, he is my senior. Okay, 1 year by age, by education, by going to India before me. Okay, I went to the same university that he did. Okay, University of Delhi, the University of Delhi. So we were together there for about 3 or 4 years. Then he left Delhi University back to Thailand before me. Okay, good. But I have high respect to him because he's so learned, so sophisticated, so great. He's one of the great monks in Thailand. Okay. And let me move on to the next point. My 10, and then it's quite a long paper. That's why I consider it. It's the best paper I have written. This one, you focus on this paper, learn something from this paper, learn some techniques, writing techniques, okay? And then you can come out with something better than me. No problem. Students should be better than teachers. That's okay. Okay? Teachers will never envy students. อาจารย์ไม่เคยอิจฉาลูกศิษย์ครับ อาจารย์องคุลิมาน Okay, hey, good. All right, science and technology in Thailand, then and now. This is my last paragraph before conclusion. And then, Thailand as a part of the global village. The good and bad effects of science and technology in Thai society. Okay. I wrote quite a long paper here. Okay, sorry for that. But it's the best paper I have written. I can say that. And you can learn something from it. You know, my conclusion is here. Okay? That's it. I still have exam sample number 4 about research conduct. And this is my last point I would like to discuss with you today with the Thai left here. And it's also my paper. I have written this paper, presented in the 20th annual International TESOL conference at Sofitel Hotel in Khon Kaen, Thailand, okay, in 2004, okay? The research conduct from the inside out, personal account of a Thai EFL teacher. EFL meaning English for foreign, English as a foreign language. Okay, I'm a teacher of English as a foreign language. We have English as the first language, English as the associate language, English as the second language, English as a foreign language. Okay. In India, English is an associate language, not a foreign language. 90% of Indian people can speak English. It can be a broken English, it's okay, it doesn't matter, but they can use some words. They understand some words, some sentences. Even young people in the village, small boys and girls understand some English. That's why English in India is considered an associate language, not a foreign language, not the second language, but associate language. Indian Constitution is written in English. Okay? And that's why English is still there in India. It's the most important of Indian life. Okay. And this is another example of my paper presented in the international conference. You can have a look, you can learn something, okay? I have given you all the examples, all the samples. And I would like you to read my conclusion, which is very strange to me. It's a strange conclusion. When I thought about it, when I read it again, I find it very strange in a way. I discussed everything in my life as a teacher of English, okay? Here, and then my conclusion is quite long anyway. I remember, for your interest here, I even talk about the Four Noble Truths. The Four Noble Truths as my guiding principles for research to Nirvana. I said to Nirvana, okay? So I try to incorporate Buddhism into my life as a teacher of English and also into my research activities. I never forget the teachings of Lord Buddha, the Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path, the concept of Nibbana, the first teachings of Lord Buddha. Everything is still with me, though I left monkhood more than 40 years ago. But I still follow the footprint of Lord Buddha. I understand his teaching. I read Buddhist books. I read the Pitaka in English version. I don't read Thai version. I enjoy reading English version of Phra Thai Pitok. Different version from Sri Lanka, from Myanmar, from Europe, from America. You get something different too. Phra Thai Pitok in Thai, I hardly read, but I enjoy reading Phra Thai Pitok in English. I enjoy more because I love English so much. I am so happy reading things in English, but not in Thai. Okay, I'm just telling my experience to inspire you, okay, so that you can follow some example from me. Maybe, it's up to you anyway. But how I improve, I develop my ability in English is from there, right from there. My interest, my practice, my effort. I use Itibatsi, the four bases of success, okay, which is the teaching of Lord Buddha. Itibatsi is very important for your success in life. You can apply Itibatsi or the four bases of success, of integration in every activity of your life. And you can achieve the ultimate goal, the success you expect, you hope for, by applying the concept of Itibatsi or the four bases of success. Okay, I still follow that. And I'm still applying the 4 bases of success or itibasi in my life, even now, in every activity that I do. I started with Chanta, Viriya, Chitta, Vimamsa. I keep the 4 concepts in my mind, in my head, every day. Okay, I started with the 4 bases of success or itibasi. Okay, you can use that in your study, in your writing, academic paper, and other activities that you expect high results, good success in your life. Okay, good. That's my conclusion. Don't forget this part. Don't forget this part. This is very important part. When you write an academic paper, when you write the essay, academic essay, you cannot forget references. At the end of your paper, you have to write, you have to list the sources that you used in writing your paper under the name references. Another point is that you have to arrange it in an alphabetical order. Alphabetical order. You cannot just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, you arrange it in an alphabetical order, starting with the family name in the European style. Family name first, and then given name or first name later. So when you arrange your references or your bibliography, you use family name of the authors, not the first name, and arrange them alphabetically from A, B, C, D, E, F until Z or Z. Don't forget that. All right? This is how you are going to succeed in your academic writing, in your research writing, in your thesis writing. Okay? Okay, let me move on. Oh, okay, let me mention some points here. In this world, in this age of globalization, in the age of Internet of Things, everything is on the internet, everything is on Google, everything is on Wikipedia, encyclopedia, or whatever, online. So you have to know how to cite online sources as well. They are not in paper forms, they are in digital forms. You have to do it digitally, okay? You have to cite it in a proper way, okay? When you take the information, take the data from online sources, you have to mention the sources, okay? In an online manner as well, okay? Look at some examples. I think MCU has good example. You can follow the example there. All right, good. Now, a report. I will just mention a little bit about this. Your research report. It's the same as the essay, right? Here. You have the preliminaries, the main text, the end matter. What do we have in the preliminaries? We have title, we have abstracts, we have table of contents, maybe, okay? And then main text, we have this: introduction, methodology, findings or results, discussion, conclusion. Good for your research report. This part is very good for your research report. You should follow this format. And then your references, your appendices, all right? You should have all of these in your report sections, whether research report or not, okay? You should have all of these. Main text, mentioned already. Methodology, finding, conclusion, okay. What do we have in the introduction of your research report? Let me focus a little bit on this because it directly involves you, involves your life as a PhD, MA students who are writing, thesis, dissertation, or academic papers for publishing in an international journal, Scopus indexed or whatever, okay? introduction. You should give the background, okay, the identification, the statement of organization. And in your methodology, you should have introductory sentence, overview, and then procedure, methodology. Okay, it's too fast. I missed something here. Okay. You should have conclusion. It's the same as essay. Very easy. In matter, the same as I mentioned. Then report example. This is research report. When you send your research report for publication, you have to follow the format. And this is my example. It's the research that I did with my colleague in New Zealand, Dr. Richard Cole, Dr. Richard K. Cole, from the University of Waikato in New Zealand. We did some research together and we wrote this article together. We sent this article to the journal here, Asia Pacific. This is the journal, Asia Pacific Journal of Cooperative Education, Asia Pacific Journal of Cooperative Education, okay? And this is the title of our research, The Internationalization of Cooperative Education, a Thailand Perspective by Richard Cole, Thirwit Pindo Natakan, and Isra Pramunsuk. When I was working for Suratnari University of Technology, I was the first generation teacher, one of the first generation teachers of Suratnari University of Technology, one of the first generation teachers. เป็นอาจารย์รุ่นแรกปี 2536 นะครับ เป็นคนแรกและคนเดียวที่ไปจากมจรครับ จนทุกวันนี้มีผมคนเดียวที่ไปจากมจรนะครับ แล้วผมภูมิใจมากๆที่เขาไปอยู่ในมหาลัยบ้านเกิดของตัวเองได้ นี่คือมหาลัยบ้านเกิดครับ It's my hometown university and I'm the only one from MCU so far after 30 years. Okay นะครับ as a teacher here. To give you some history about me, why I came to this university. Before this, I was working at Prince of Songkhla University, Hat Yai campus. I was in Hat Yai for 6 years before I moved to Suratnari University of Technology. อยู่ที่มหาลัยสงขลานครินทร์6 ปีเป็นอาจารย์อยู่ที่นั่น Then I moved to Suratnari University in the first year of its operation. I was interviewed by Professor Vichit Sisaan and other three professors on a panel. I was interviewed in English for 30 minutes, asking question, answering question, everything in English for 30 minutes by 3 professors. At the end of the interview, Professor Vichit Sisaan said, "Oh, your English is not Indian. Your English is American. How come? You study in India, but your English is not Indian." Then I told Professor Vichit Sisaan, "Oh, well, it's my interest because I train myself. I learn English from Thailand, the American way, the English way. Right in Thailand at MCU, at Modulo, Wat Mahathat. I got some American teacher and out of my own interest, my own practice, okay, my own effort, my own applying Itibasi. So I got the American accent. I got the British accent, not the Indian accent. I went to India, I worked in India, I lived in India for about 10 years, but my English accent is not changed. It's still like the way I'm speaking now, okay? So it doesn't matter whether you graduate from India, from Sri Lanka, from Myanmar, from Cambodia, from Laos. It's all depends on you, okay? Your effort, the quality is in you, not in the place you graduate. The quality begins in your mind. How you develop yourself to be a quality person, to be a qualified person for any job. So I would like to suggest that you improve yourself based on the Buddha's teachings. You can go a long way in life, no problem. Even when you remain a monk, you can be a great monk in the future. Even you leave the order, become a layman like me, you can succeed in life. You can have a good life, a successful life, okay, by applying the teachings of Lord Buddha. Okay, good. Now I'm talking too much about the teaching of Lord Buddha. Let me summarize my paper here. It's quite long anyway. You can study it, you can learn something about it from the ebook that I sent to you, right? I mentioned everything here in the paper. The techniques, the steps, the concept, everything you learn from this. And also stick to the requirement by MCU. MCU, I believe MCU has the manual, the handbook, the guideline for writing academic paper, for writing your thesis, for writing your dissertation. Okay, I've seen some books at Mahajulavanarkhan about writing articles. Okay, you have very big books there. You have many books about this. What I would like you to suggest is reading English books written by great authors of the world, especially Dalai Lama and other great Buddhist scholars from Bangladesh, from Sri Lanka, from Myanmar, from Cambodia, from Laos. There are great Buddhist monks there, okay? And from great European people who are interested in Buddhism. And they are great scholars in Buddhism now. They can teach Buddhism the way you are teaching. Even they are American, they are English, they are Swedish, or they are Dutch. They can teach, they can explain Buddhism in a very clear way, very easily understandable way. You will be amazed if you see them giving lecture about Buddhism in English. It's wonderful to learn from them. They have written many articles, many books on Buddhism, about Buddhism, from the Western perspective, from American perspectives, from European perspectives, not just from Asian perspectives. I would like you to expand the horizon of your knowledge, of your understanding of Buddhism. The wider you can go, okay? And then you get a lot from the teachings of Lord Buddha. Okay, don't just confine yourself to Theravada Buddhism, but expand your interest into Mahayana Buddhism, European Buddhism, American Buddhism. Okay, around the world. You will be a great scholar one day. All right? I expect so. I hope so. And I would like to encourage you to be just like that, just like Dalai Lama, just like Somdet Putthaja. All right? Just like Prapom Bandit. So there are many good examples in Thailand as well. Okay. Okay, what I should come to this part. This is the last part I would briefly mention about today. I may not have time to talk about writing your dissertation, but it's okay. If you know how to do the following in chapter 4, you avoid a great mistake in your academic life. You can avoid plagiarism in 3 ways. In 3 ways. Nobody can catch you, stealing the ideas from others. Okay? If you do the following 3 things. Number 1, paraphrase. Number 2, summary. And number 3, synthesis. If you know how to paraphrase, how to summarize, how to synthesize, plagiarism is no more. It's not in your head. It's not in your mind. It's gone forever. So do the paraphrasing, do the summarizing, do the synthesizing of other people's writings, papers, ideas, books, works. All right? How are you going to do this? I'll give you some technique to do paraphrasing. Paraphrase. What is paraphrasing? You should know. Paraphrasing is writing the ideas of another person, of other person, in your own words. What do I mean by your own words? It has to be English words, not Thai words, because we are paraphrasing in English. We are writing articles in English. We are writing paper, thesis in English. So you must have enough vocabulary to choose from, to do the summary, to do the paraphrasing. Okay? You need to change the words and the structure here and there. But remember, keep the meaning the same. The meaning must be the same when you paraphrase. You cannot change the meaning. You can change the words. You can change some structures. Okay? You can change here and there. But keep in mind, the meaning must be the same. And the length, ขนาดความยาว must be approximately the same. ความยาวใกล้เคียงกัน for paraphrasing นะครับโอเคนะครับ paraphrasing เรียบเรียงสมัยเขียนสมัยด้วยความยาวที่ใกล้เคียงด้วยความหมายเหมือนเดิมสรุปคืออย่างนั้นนะครับ paraphrasing ก็ดูตัวอย่างนะครับ look at the example here ถ้า the source เป็นอย่างนี้ paraphrase จะเป็นอย่างนี้โอเคนะครับ the source it has long been known that Thailand is the land of 1,000 miles but few foreigners know about this is the source เป็นประโยคหลักที่เขาเขียนไว้ก่อนเวลาท่าน paraphrase เราจะได้ประโยคแบบนี้หรืออาจจะต่างโอเค although Thailand has long been known as the land of 1,000 miles for many years few foreigners know about this โอเคไหมครับ มันต่างออกไปนิดนึงแต่ความยาวใกล้เคียงกันความหมายเหมือนเดิม alright good นี่คือขั้นตอนเวลาท่านจะ paraphrase the following stages or step เวลาท่านจะ paraphrase นะครับ when you are going to do the paraphrasing step 1 read and understand the text เข้าใจต้นฉบับซะก่อนอ่านและเข้าใจต้นฉบับ number 2 make a list of the main ideas เอาความคิดสำคัญเขาออกมาให้ได้1 2 3 number 3 change the structure of the text เปลี่ยนแปลงโครงสร้างของต้นฉบับนิดหน่อยโอเค then rewrite it แล้วก็เขียนใหม่โดยการใช้คำพูดหรือประโยคของเราเอง that's it and number 5 check your work make sure อันนี้สำคัญนะครับ1 2 3 4 A B C D make sure the meaning is the same ความหมายต้องเหมือนเดิม make sure the length is the same ความยาวต้องใกล้เคียงเท่าเดิม make sure the style is your own make sure ว่านี่เป็นสไตล์ของท่านเองไม่ใช่ไป copy เข้ามาท่านเขียนด้วยความเข้าใจของท่านเองประโยคของท่านเอง make sure the style is your own นะครับอันสุดท้าย remember to acknowledge other people's work ก็คืออย่าลืมที่จะอ้างถึงงานของคนอื่นที่เราได้ความคิดมาได้ไอเดียมาได้ข้อมูลมาก็คือหนังสืออ้างอิงบุคคลอ้างอิงนั่นแหละอยู่ตรงนั้นครับโอเค this is paraphrase now summary what is a summary venerable can I ask some of you here we have 115มี115ท่านที่ออนไลน์ตอนนี้นะครับผมก็จะเห็นชื่อท่านบ้างไม่เห็นบ้าง ผมเห็นพระคุณเจ้าตรงนี้ท่านไม่ไปไหนเลยเป็นภาพนิ่งก็คือพระพัฒนวัชระหรืออะไรสักอย่างชื่อเต็มไม่เห็นชัดนะครับแต่ท่านดูตั้งใจมากท่านนิ่งตลอดสงสัยเป็นภาพนิ่งท่าน Okay if I call out someone here can you respond คุณสมหมายสุภาษิตก็อยู่ในนี้ด้วยนะเนี่ยแต่ว่าเป็นโฮสต์เป็นโคโฮสต์ท่านอาชิระเป็น moderator ผมไม่ถามท่านผมขอดูบางชื่อนะครับ let me find out some of the name here ท่านอัชชปาละ are you there venerable อัชชปาละ venerable อัชชปาละ can you hear me No. ท่านปัญญาวชิโร Venerable ปัญญาวชิโร are you there?
Yes, Ajahn.
Oh, very good. Thank you very much. I can hear your voice. Okay, thank you for your response.
Yes, Ajahn.
Venerable, tell me what is a summary? Can you read out the whole thing for me here? Summary, what is summary? You can read out the passage here.
Oh, read out. You mean let me read out, right?
Read out, yeah. Please read out for others. I want to hear your voice up to this
try
part.
my best, Ajahn.
Okay, please read out for me.
Summary is a sorted version of a text. It contains the main points in the text and is written in your own words. It is a mixture of reducing a long text to a short text and selecting relevant information. A good summary shows that you have understood the text. Please remember, though, that even when you summarize someone's work, you must acknowledge it. See,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very good reading. Okay, you know, a summary is a shortened version of a text. It's different from paraphrase. Okay, it's shortened version of the text. It contains the main points in the text and is written in your own words. Okay, it's a mixture of reducing a long text to a short one, selecting some relevant information. It shows that you have understood the text and you can summarize it in your own words by acknowledging it as well. Okay, where you get the idea, from whom you get the idea, you acknowledge it. That's it. That's the summary. Summary can be 1/3, 1/3 1/3 ส่วนนะครับ shorter than the original version. This is summary. You have to read first, understand the original text, get the main ideas, and summarize it in your own words, making it shorter than the original version. Mostly 1/3 of the original version. That's okay. That is called a summary. You should do this when you write the academic paper or when you write some chapters of your thesis. You cannot just copy, cut and paste. No, you have to do the summarizing, the paraphrasing, the synthesizing as well. Synthesize. Oh, look at the example of a summary here, summary. You have one example here. This is the source, very long, longer than the summary. This is the summary, very shortened version. The source says, the amphibia, which is the animal class to which our frogs and toads belong, were the first animals to crawl from the sea and inhabit the earth. This is the original source. And now your summary. Your summary should be something like this. Shorter, same meaning, but shorter. The first animals to leave the sea and live on dry land were the amphibia. Very shorter, 1/3, all right, as I said. This is the summary. Now, the steps. The step for doing the summary, you have the following step. Very similar to paraphrasing. The difference is that you make it shorter than the original version, maybe 1/3, maybe, okay? This is summary. The last point I would like to talk about is this one. Synthesizing. Synthesis. Very important for you. Synthesis. If you want to avoid plagiarism, do the paraphrasing, do the summary, and lastly, do the synthesis. You need to synthesize the ideas, the information you get from other people, from other sources. So a synthesis is a combination, usually a shortened version, like summary, of several texts made into one. For example, you have read 3 books. You can synthesize the ideas of the 3 books into one place in your chapter, in your paper. So it must contain the important points in the text, and it must be written in your own words. This is important. Why? Because you are trying to avoid plagiarism. Okay? And that's why you apply the 3 techniques. And your academic paper will be appreciated, will be valuable, will be a real contribution to academic community, to the world of academic life. That's it. In order to make a synthesis, you need to find a suitable source and select the relevant parts in those sources. Then you will use your paraphrase and summary skills to write information in your own words. Remember, synthesis is the highest skill based on the first 2 skills, paraphrasing, summarizing. These 2 skills can help you do the synthesis much and much better. Okay? It depends on that. So the information from all the sources has to fit together into one continuous text. These are the following stages for you to synthesize or do the synthesis. Number 1, find texts that are suitable for your assignment. Read and understand the text. Number 2. Number 3, find the relevant ideas in the text. Mark them in some way. Write them down, take notes, underline them, or highlight them with your markers. Number 4, make sure you identify the meaning, relationships between the words, between the ideas, using colors or numbers. That's okay, acceptable. Number 5, read what you have marked very carefully. 6, organize the information you have. 7, transfer all the information onto one piece of paper, only one piece of paper. You might get the ideas from 3 places, 3 books, 3 sources, but put them together in one piece of paper. Write down all similar information together. Number 8, paraphrase and summarize. This is where paraphrasing and summarizing come in. Paraphrase and summarize as necessary. Then check your notes with the original text. For what? For accuracy, for relevance. Make sure you are accurate, okay? And you have relevance. Number 10, combine your notes into one continuous text, maybe one paragraph, maybe one page, okay? And then the final step, check it. Check your purpose is clear. Check language is correct. Style is your own. And finally, make sure and remember to acknowledge the other people's work. This is important. This is how you can avoid plagiarism. This is how you can create new body of knowledge. Okay? New format, new discovery for others to follow you, to improve upon your discovery, to continue forward. All right? Good. Now, thank you. Let me go on and finish it in just 5 minutes. Some tasks here. I would like to ask Venerable Ashurya, okay, to have the live group for this purpose. We have some continuous job to do together, to work together. I can be your guide, your tutor in the live group. If you have any question, any problem, you can ask me and you can ask for my help in the live group, okay? It cannot be finished in just 3 hours like this. We have to move on. We have to cooperate more. We have to be together for longer period in order to improve yourself, and also in order for me to learn from you. Okay, we are learning from each other. We are sharing things, and we are going ahead together. We are moving forward together, not alone, but together. All right. Okay, now this is the end of my class lecture online today. Summary, you know, synthesis, you know, paraphrase, you know. These are the tasks you have to do and show me, send it in our live group for checking as homework, as assignment, as the way to improve yourself. Remember what Lord Buddha said. I can tell you the way, but you have to walk the way. ตถาคตบอกได้แค่ทางการเดินเป็นหน้าที่ของท่านขออนุญาตใช้วาทะของท่าน I can tell you the way but you have to walk the way หน้าที่เดินเป็นของท่านหน้าที่บอกทางเป็นของพระพุทธเจ้าประมาณนั้นนะครับผมก็ขออนุญาตด้วยความเคารพสูงสุดเอาวาทะนี้มาเป็นคติเตือนใจ as a reminder a soft reminder to you in order to improve yourself in all areas of activities, in all areas of your life. And then you can be a perfect person, a complete man, a complete person. All right? Venerable Ashira, are you there?
Yes, Ajahn, I'm here.
Okay, I have come to the end of my class lecture. And well,
should we have some question and answer session, Ajahn?
Right, that's right. Chapter 5, you can read by yourself. I don't think I have time for this, Venerable. Okay, Pramaha Achira. So time for discussion and questions. All right, comments as well.
Sure.
So please moderate the audience there on your side. If they have any questions, they can put forward. I can answer them. All right, thank you, Venerable.
Okay, so before we end today's course, which is a short course, I hope most of them has got valuable knowledge from Ajahn Dr. Thiravit. So now I would like to invite students who have questions, who wants to do discussion with Ajahn related to the issues he has taught today. I would like you to come and do some discussions with Ajahn. Yeah. Maybe not more than 10 to 15 minutes for everyone, because we also have the closing ceremony coming soon. So yeah, please.
I see.
Yes, Ajahn. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Hello, Ajahn. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly. Go ahead, please.
Yes, Ajahn. I would like interested about your book, your academic writing book. I would like to know about the reports. To write article reports, article deceit, and article journal. How is different? Deceit article and journal article. How is different?
He might mean the journal article or the thesis article, Ajahn.
Yes. Can you show me the structure? Can you tell me the structure, Ajahn? If you have a little bit more minute, can you tell me?
It's the same. It's okay. I understand your question. It's the same format, but the source might be different. One, you are writing from your thesis, from the findings, from the results of your thesis, right? And the other from your research. It's called research report. A piece of research is not a thesis, okay? A research may be a part of your thesis, writing. You can write a research report, an article from your research report. And you can write some article from your thesis as well. You can pick up chapter 2, especially review of literature, or chapter 3 about your methods, about your methodology. You can describe your methodology, your discoveries, your findings from your thesis as well. So, but they follow the same format anyway. The difference has to do with the sources. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Ajahn. I understand.
Sadhu. Okay.
Okay, any more questions, venerables? Ladies and gentlemen, you can still ask some questions to
Yes,
Ajahn
please.
Dr. Kiravit. Yes, please.
Yes, I just want to ask some two questions because right now I'm just conducting on my thesis. So I'm just working on the references. So I do not understand properly. I just want to ask what is difference between Chicago APA and MLA? Yeah.
Okay.
Because
they have different formats.
Yes,
Formats. The way they arrange it. Full stop, comma, here and there. You know, they have their own styles. The University of Chicago would use the Chicago style manual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes,
Howard University will have their own manual, Howard style. But in general, I'm talking about other countries. They use APA style, APA from American Psychological Association manual, okay? Style manual or manual of styles. And at my university, Chinawatra University is also using APA style. And I believe MCU is following APA style. You just go on Google, click on the word APA style, and then you get examples and everything. You can even get the manual free download, okay, from Google about APA style. MLA is from also from America, I think. You can check the word MLA style on Google as well, and you can download the file for your example. But all in all, I must say, MCU has a manual. MCU has the handbook for writing a dissertation. You use that handbook for your own writing, okay? Because if you are writing differently from MCU format, they will not accept your thesis. That's the problem.
Yes. Sir.
Okay, Venerable, I think MCU use APA style like other Thai universities. Most Thai universities. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your
Thank you,
question.
Ajahn.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yalin.
Yes.
Maybe one question, maybe the last questions, if anyone is interested in asking question, please come forth and ask a question to Ajahn, if anyone is interested in asking. Anyone?
Just me, Ajahn, yes. Ajahn, to improve academic writing, what should we do to improve academic writing skill?
Okay, number one, you should improve your English. Your English grammar, your English vocabulary. Okay, number one, your grammar. Number two, your vocabulary. Number three, your writing skill. You should practice writing every day. Writing out your ideas every day. Okay, practice, practice, and practice. Then you should follow the appropriate format. You know your purpose, what you are writing for, and which journal you are writing for. You should follow their guidelines and their requirements so that you fit in with their journal. Okay?
Okay, Ajahn. I will do like your suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. All the best. I wish you the success.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you all the participants who just finished asking the questions. All right, so before we move into our final session, which is closing ceremony, Ajahn, could you please stop sharing the screen? I would like to inform all the participants all the maybe 115 participants, right? If you just arrived without registering in the Google form, then please write your name, correct name, and email as well, and just send it in this chat box. If most of them has sent it, then you don't need to send it again, right? For those who just didn't know about this, because we will collect those names and make a certificate for you and send it to your email. Okay, so I hope you sent us a correct email. And another thing is that I would also share the screen of the QR code for the line group that Ajahn Tirawit just mentioned. Ajahn, could you please stop sharing the screen so that I can share?
Okay, Venerable, wait a minute. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I will
I'm going
share.
to stop.
Okay, I will share the QR codes line. Okay.
Good.
So that,
okay. Yeah, I stop it. Now you can share, Venerable.
yeah, I hope you can see.
Yeah,
You
very
can
good. Very
you
good.
can you can scan this QR code for those who haven't joined the line group. Okay, and whatever discussions, whatever questions, whatever queries related to the subject issues that Ajahn has taught, or anything related to English, you can ask him directly in that group. Yeah, please join the group. I don't know how many of you. You can also share the QR code to some other friends who couldn't arrive. And yeah, kindly request that please do not post something irrelevant in this group, okay? Just post something related. Okay.
Very good advice. Very good advice. Yeah, I agree with you, Venerable. Yes.
Yeah, please post only queries, questions, or discussions related to English, reading, writing, listening, speaking, whatever you can ask Ajahn.
Yeah, including 4 skills. Fine.
Okay. Is everyone done? Is everyone done? If done, I will stop sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, so I think this is the final session for today's course. So we still have the closing ceremony. So on behalf of the Director of Language Institute, Venerable Prajan Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasurasak Pachanta Seno, the administrators, executives, personal staffs, and all the participants of English course, reading and writing skills for foreign students of MCU, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Associate Professor Dr. Tirawit Pinjonatakan, who shared his valuable knowledge to all the participants, which was very helpful and useful, I hope so, for every participant. And he also kindly requested to create a line group so that he can follow up the progress, follow up what the students might need to know in the future. So you can join that group. So thank you once again and all the participants. And I think we are in the end of this session. I would like to call upon the Venerable Prajan Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasurasak Pachanta Seno, Director of Language Institute, to come here and give the closing remark as well as deliver the thank you speech to the special lecturer Ajahn Tirawit and also to all the participants. Please, Venerable Sir.
Respect, most honorable Professor Prathe Vachara Bandit, the MCU Rector, and on MCU Administrator, the most honorable Associate Professor Dr. Prathe Pavara Methi, Deputy Director for Administrative Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Prathe Methi, Deputy Director for Student Affairs, Assistant Professor Praswana Methapon, Deputy Director for Academic Affairs, and Associate Professor Dr. Tirawit Pinjonatakan. So, my dear every participant, international student in both Thai and foreign student of MCU, Mahajula Longkorn Rajvidyaraya University. I attend the special English course presented by Ajahn Dr. Tirawit Pinjonatakan and enjoy his knowledge shared by him. Very wonderful. So this English course in reading and writing skills organized by Language Institute collaborated with ASEAN Study Center and also Student Affairs Divisions of MCU successfully finished. So without the hard work of everyone, this English course cannot happen. I would like to extend my special thanks to Ms. Suthida Mipian, the Director of Administrative Divisions of the Language Institutes, and also Dr. Rungroj Siripan, Deputy Director of Language Institutes, and all my colleagues, Ramaha Asira Vachira Nako, the MC, Honorable MC of this program, Pramaha Vachira Yano. And my special thanks to MCU ASEAN Study Center, led by the most venerable Prasit Vashmeti, the Director of ASEAN Study Center, and also Assistant Professor Dr. Pramaha Chirawat Kantawano, Deputy Director of ASEAN Study Center, and the staff. My appreciation, sincere appreciation to distinguished Assistant Professor Dr. Supapan Phirmpoon, Honorable Committee of ASEAN Study Center, and distinguished lecturer of the Faculty of Buddhism who supports this program. My appreciation to Venerable Pramaha Prayun Chotibaro, the Director of Student Affairs Divisions of MCU, who supports this program also. So I would like to extend my appreciation to Associate Professor Dr. Thirawit Pinyo Nathakan, my teacher, my teacher, so long time no see you when sir. You are invited my language institutes because of MCU students. Most MCU students talk to me about you, Associate Professor Dr. Thirawit Pinyo Nathakan. He know you from his textbooks and also your presentation. So, and he suggests me, I would like to learn, I would like to get knowledge. Ajahn Thirawit Pinyo Nathakan from Nakhon Ratchasima province, like this. That's why Associate Professor Dr. Thirawit Pinyo Nathakan are invited by Language Institute to share your knowledge this time.
Oh, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
I would finally I would like to express my profound gratitude to the most venerable Pratep Vachara Pandit, Director of MCU, who supports this special English course for international students. The most venerable Director of MCU would like to support and improve international student, MCU international student English for propagation the Buddha's teaching, and not only in Thailand, but in every country all over the world. He would like to extend to MCU students to propagate, to use the English to propagate the Buddha's teaching for the people. That's why we organize this special program. So next time, I hope Ajahn Thirawit Pinyo Nathakan is going to accept our invitation once again next time. We are going to organize a special program this time. Next time. Thank you very much. So without every participant, we cannot organize this special program. So thank you very much, my dear every participant in both Thai and foreign students. I heard not only in the MCU Ayutthaya campus, but from Surin campus, from the north, the south, the east, and the west campus of MCU. Special thanks to Dr. Thanarat Saad, my dear friends from Surin campus, who suggest his student to attend this program. Thank you very much. So hope to see you next time. Thank you. Okay. Let's to pay the homage to the different James together. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Saṅgho Saṅghang Namami. Okay.
Okay. On behalf of everyone here, so once again, I would like to thank our director, Assistant Professor Dr. Pramahasurasak Pachantaseno, as well as Associate Professor Dr. Thiravit Pindonatakan, to come and share his valuable knowledge, which was very helpful, useful to all the participants, and also to all the participants who had keen interest in learning English and different skills. Let's say if we have another chance in the future, we will definitely do this kind of activities. And we, last but not least, I would also like to thank the Student Affairs Division, led by Prachan Pramahaprayun Chotivaro, the Director of Student Affairs Division, as well as the ASEAN Studies Center, led by Most Venerable Chokun Si Thawat Meti, and also the Vice Director, Prachan Pramaha Jirawat Kantawano, and all the Language Institute staff, ASEAN staff as well. So thank you very much to kindly attend this today's one-day program. And I hope everyone has joined the line group. If you haven't seen the line group, I will share once again, so that you can just, let's say you can just scan the QR code to enter the line group and make some discussions with Achan. Okay, sorry, but okay, then I will let other students allowed to invite. Okay, I hope many of them has already joined that group, so please invite others as well. So thank you everyone once again, and we'll see you again later.
Thank you, Mr. Somai Supasit.
Okay, yes.
And
and we couldn't. It couldn't be possible that we also had the live streaming today. If I hope that most of them doesn't know. So thank you very much to Mr. Somai Supasit from the MCU TV. Without him, our Zoom meeting couldn't be live streaming at the MCU TV channel, and also the Language Institute FC page, Facebook page, let's say. So if you want to follow up the live streaming, what we had learned today, you can also go to the MCU TV channel and watch later. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. MCU TV channel, yes. MCU TV YouTube. Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. You can follow up the videos later. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so please don't forget to send your correct